Hello, everybody. How are you doing today, Wednesday? And of course, today I'm going to be talking about wellness. It's Wellness Wednesday. My name is Linda G. Robert. I'm here to help you live your best life now so you love what you do. And today we're talking about spiritual wellness. Spiritual wellness. Last week, on Wellness Wednesday, I talked about physical well being, but today I'm going to talk about spiritual wellness. And first, I'm going to remind you of what wellness is. So I'm going to share, first of all, my screen with you. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to look at a definition and the model that I've been using different models lately to explain wellness. Let's see now if I could share this with you. I'm going to see if I can make my screen. There you go. You can see. So I'm just going to go back here. Wellness is multidimensional. And I did mention that a couple of weeks ago that wellness is about staying well. It isn't about preventing illness, but it's more about remaining well. And it includes, of course, physical health, but it includes a lot more than physical health. It includes mental health. It includes emotional health. And I talked about emotional health a few weeks ago. It includes spiritual health, social health, and environmental. But it includes a lot more than that because here, as it says, sometimes, depending on the definition, it includes many more areas. So it's multi-dimensional. And I think that we can define it in our own way. We each have our own way of defining what wellness is. For me, wellness does include spiritual well-being, spiritual wellness. And here's a nice definition that I found. Hello. Here's a definition that I found for spiritual wellness. It is being connected to something greater than ourselves and having a set of values, principles, morals, beliefs that provide a sense of purpose and meaning to life. Then using those, right? So we want to be able to have a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose. And I'll give you an example of, well, I'll not just an example, but I'll tell you exactly when this happened for me. When I was 21, I got married. I got married to a young man who wasn't emotionally, mentally healthy. So we were together for a total of 9 months when I was 21. But after 7 months, after we got married, he died. He died 2 months after we got married. And to be honest, during that whole relationship, although I cared for him a lot, I loved him, um, he was abusive. He was emotionally abusive and physically abusive. We got into a lot of arguments. I know, don't you just love the background? We got into a lot of arguments, and it was physical arguments as well, pushing and shoving, really terrible. It was not good. When he passed away, it was a shock. Number one, it was very difficult for me to understand that he was actually dead. The nurse had to tell me again, he passed away, he died. She really had to make it more clear to me because I didn't get it. I was 21, and it was actually the first death in my life, somebody close to me. But it was after that, after his passing, that I started thinking that, well, maybe I'm alive for a reason. Because there were times during our short relationship that I could have died, especially when he threatened me with a knife, and I was so afraid. It was horrible. I really was afraid. So my spirituality really started when I was really young, because I thought, why am I still alive? Why am I still alive? And so, when we're talking about spiritual wellness, that being connected to something greater than ourselves, to having that set of values, to having those types of belief to provide us with a sense of purpose and meaning to life. That's what spirituality is. That's what spiritual wellness is, according to, you know, this website that I'm using. And I'm just sharing this with you here. This definition, the definition that I just shared, I'm going to put that out again. Where's that definition? There it is. That definition that I just shared with you. There, and I just noticed that there's something missing in that definition. So let me change that. Let me change that so that I could make it a little bit better, because there were a few words that were missing. And I think I know why. It's because I'm not able to add all of those words. But in essential, it says, and meaning to life, then those principles to guide our actions. So that's what spiritual wellness is. All right, that's what spiritual wellness is. And how how can we do that? How can we gain more of that spirituality? But some of these questions here that I'm going to invite you to consider will help you develop that spiritual sense. So here's a question to ask yourself. What gives my life meaning and purpose? What gives me hope? So, if you take a few moments and think about these very deep questions, I suggest to write them in a journal and to journal about these questions and to write out your answers to what gives me hope, what gives my life meaning and purpose. How do I get through tough times? Where do I find comfort? One of the things that I do, and this is just one of the things that I do when I go through difficult times, I pray. I pray. And when I go through very difficult times, I will even get on my knees and just talk to a God, um, whoever is out there, up there in space, like this image that I have, whoever's there, I'm just talking to that being, that divine spirit, and then I let it go. I just let it go. That's especially when I'm going through a very, very challenging time. So that's what I do. That's one of the things that I do. Here's another question. Am I tolerant of other people's views about life issues? Do I make time for relaxation in my day? And do my values guide my decisions and actions? So these are all questions that we can use to assess our spiritual wellness, to evaluate and to, nurture that spiritual wellness. Things that we can actually do now to practice spiritual well-being, spiritual wellness. We can practice meditation. Now, if you join me on Fridays at 4 o'clock, you'll know that I do on Freeing Fridays, I'll do a meditation on Fridays at 4 o'clock. So you're welcome to join me there at 4 o'clock on either YouTube or on my Facebook business page. So through meditation, that's one way. By practicing yoga, that's another way. By praying or by taking part in some organized religion, that's another way to nurture that spiritual wellness aspect. By spending quiet time by yourself, thinking about the meaning of life. By building awareness, I shared just a few minutes ago, to journal, to write down answers to the questions that I just shared with you. So by journaling, that helps you to become more aware of something that is outside of you. And I also say that sometimes by quieting down, by listening to those very gentle, quiet whispers, sometimes we'll hear things that we don't often expect. That's another way of nurturing that spiritual wellness. Spending time in nature, appreciating music, appreciating the arts are all different ways of practicing spiritual wellness. So, this is Linda, your back in the groove again coach, helping you live your best life now so that you can love what you do. And on Wellness Wednesday, I talk about wellness. And right now I'm just going through different domains of that wellness wheel. So today we talked about spiritual well-being, spiritual wellness. And next week I'll talk more about mental mental wellness. That'll be next week. All right, everybody. Talk to you soon. And if you are listening to this on YouTube or on Facebook business page, please write down hashtag replay. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Superior 7. Yes, spiritual wellness does help us to face difficult times. You know, when sometimes we think we have no options, and sometimes it's tough. We don't have any options. We're worried, we're concerned about something. When we, well, when I pray, and prayer isn't always um, like a prayer that I learned in school or that I learned in church. Sometimes I just say to whatever's out there, whatever's outside of me, sometimes I'm just going to say, can you help me get through this? Can you help me get through this? Please help me get through this. Or if I have a friend right now that her husband's going to be going through an operation. And so I'm just going to say it out loud. And sometimes I say it inside. Help my friend get through this. Help her husband get through the surgery that he's going to be getting through. So I'm tapping into that spiritual side. I'm developing that spiritual side. And then I have to just let it go because I also, this is part of the belief, right? I believe that things happen for a reason. That's part of my spiritual well-being, is that belief that things happen for a reason. So that's it for today. I hope to see you next week for Wellness Wednesday, or I hope to see you on Friday as well. Friday will be all about freeing. It's all about meditation. So we'll see you on Friday, or we'll see you next week for Wellness Wednesday. Bye now. Have a great day. Don't forget to write your comments, add your comments in our chat box, and I'll gladly respond to your questions. Bye now.